the tier list is highly subjective, right? Considering that there are clear clans, like I will talk about the clear clans separately. There are clans which I don't have much experience of, like Lion, like Eagle, like Dragon. These are 3 clans which I have almost no playtime with these clans whatsoever. But let's start. Let's hop right into it. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the STAG, which is obviously like the A tier, or let's say the S tier clan. Let's do an S tier. The tier list is only for team game, 2v2, team game, 3v3. You want to start with the STAG because you're more experienced with the STAG than me?
You can comment and I'll add up some details if there are.
Okay. So first of all, STAG, like very versatile clan, very good in FFA and in duels as well. Obviously, STAG Joy became very popular. Just the threat of winning by fame in 802 this alone makes this clan very strong, and having the ability to scout, to feast, to scale makes this clan just all around very, very good. I think in my opinion it's way above Boar and Horse, which are like the classic eco clans we know of. STAG is one of the best clans in the game right now.
Totally agree. The only thing that I would like to add to you is probably that if you're playing in a team game on STAG, it usually is good to play Guardian if you are going for grid. So in this way you can protect your side pretty well, because STAG usually goes for a lot of tiles, which means that it will take a lot of effort and time for enemies to get, and Guardian will help a lot with it. And so there is also a war build, which includes like free top up to the food preservation, and then you go for bottom, which is usually used for the relic rush build, but it delays your fame win a bit. So it's just like somewhat of a mix of grid and also being a good team clan. Yeah. So yeah, that's probably it.
We could, like, good point, Magnus, thank you so much. We could add the lore actually to the clan, if we know the lore for the clan. Like obviously for STAG there's two different lore paths you can take. You can actually go top or bottom. I don't know which lore path do you like personally?
I used to play a lot of 4 bottom and then middle, but then in 3v3s, when I talked a bit with Onlyrex, he said that it's more viable to go free top than 4 bottom than middle. But it also depends on your team. Like if you're in a pre-made, you can actually afford yourself 4 bottom, I would say. And yeah, some people actually say that Glory of the Clan, in the beginning of the patch, people used to go for the Glory of the Clan as a 4th one and then skip negotiation at all. Now the trend is a bit different, because people still try to fit in negotiation somehow, so they usually go it as a 5th lore, but I'm not really sure about this because I guess I only played 1 game with this build. The power spike is young and proud if you want to go to get enemies, and otherwise you go after 4 bottom, you go just to top, sharp access into colonization, and you try to get fame win as soon as possible.
Yeah. So if you go for power spike earlier, you go full middle, right, into young.
Yep. If you think that fighting is more important than sitting on eco, then you don't go top at all.
Yeah. And if you want to go for like fame win 802, then you go sharp access into colo, obviously.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but do you go for food preservation for fame win as well?
No, usually not really, because if you want to go for the food preservation, you probably need to start with sharp access into colo into food preservation, and only then for bottom, which usually means that your mid game potential is much stronger than the one that goes for bottom, but then after like 3 months after mid game, you just lose to him by fame. He just scales.
Yeah, I see. Okay, thank you. That was very informative. Okay, let's actually like stick and do the lore for the other clans. I like that a lot. At least if we can do that, I'm feeling quite happy with you being here, because you can go for the KRAKEN and the Ox lore.
Yeah, initially it was played, I think you planned it this way, but
yeah.
I just insisted to be here.
I like that you're here, by the way. Adds a lot.
Same man.
Okay, now I'm quite sad about the next clan, Magnus.
Is it GOAT?
It's GOAT.
Yep.
So, question is, do we put GOAT in D or F?
I think it's in the right place.
Yeah, I agree. Why do you think it's an F? What do you think that's
I
a
mean,
problem?
personally, so not to like talk too much about it. I didn't really play it in the new patch. It's like, I don't know. I think I only played 2 games. I don't think it's viable in 3v3s, at least as it used to be. I mean, the 4th shift hold is no longer a thing, and like Relic is a bit nerfed. This way probably like what is it? Amentitus? Goat is still a thing, but not really sure. And I'm not really sure about the recovery potential for Goat anymore. Like usually in the last patch, Goat was very greedy clan that went alta and that had 500 fame easily, and then like it's just easy. You convert like up to 20 units, and then you have recover too. For now, I'm not sure. Maybe it's more for Rush clan now.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I think so too. Like Goat is more of a rush clan. I think if you want to go for 801 or early 802 rush, I think Goat is still a possible clan you can play. But,
Yep,
yeah, the reasons why you listed it, also the reasons you listed is why it's, in my opinion, not a good clan, because there's no recovery. You get outscaled by literally every other eco clan, and I mean there are a lot of better clans right now.
Yeah,
So,
to me it feels like a worse version of Boar, and Boar is a weaker version of STAG. So
yes,
like
I agree. I agree.
that's the impression I got.
Bardush says then in tournament games, if Stag and Raven are banned, Goat is the best clan as support, as it can feast.
Bardosh is a stronger player. He might know the things that we don't know. So like
Yeah.
I'm not sold that it's a worst clan, but from what I've seen, I didn't see it flourish or like have a significant impact.
Yeah, me too. I agree. But we gotta consider that Bardush is kind of biased, kind of slightly biased, because he and Biosledge, they play a lot of Goat. And they play a lot of Goat, so they know every tweak the clan has, which we don't know of. But I think like it's F tier or D tier. We can make a case for D tier, but I don't think it'll get much higher.
Yeah, let's do it for the Bardosh.
Yeah, let's do it for Bardosh, okay? It's D tier for Bardosh. Okay. Next is Raven. You wanna go?
I guess it's no, because I'm pretty noob in Raven, and all I know is just like from some Aqua gameplay and from your guides and Piratenhood, so you go for it.
Okay. So here we have a clan who like kind of breaks the meta, right? You got the possibility of negotiation for going full greed. You got the Stag Fame win. You got the insane late game potential from negotiation rat. You got the insane late game potential from KRAKEN and Ox, but Raven is like, never mind that. I'm ready 801. If you're not ready 801, you're just dead. So in my opinion, just because of this, because like Raven forces you to play your clan differently, that makes the clan S tier already, right?
Yep. Agreed. I agree with you. The only thing that I don't like about Raven is that basically if you have Raven in team, it makes half of the clans not viable to me.
Yeah.
At least unless they are mirrored. And then like if you have Raven in team, you don't really want to go Lion, Ox, or Red or whatever like this. You want to play something that can scale faster, that can be ready 801.
Yeah. Exactly. And it also like
the question there.
and also like oh, this tier list is for what? FFA 3v3 duel. It's for team games, so either 2v2 or 3v3. This tier list. Also, like for Raven, like as I said in my guide as well, it's not only about the scouting. It's about like doing the scouting and still playing like a normal clan would. Right, because all the other clans like they get behind, or you sacrifice your late game potential by scouting early, and late game just naturally scouts and naturally scales afterwards, because you got early access to lore, you got early access to carpentry, and like the last game I played, you can either go like ultra if you want to outscale more, or you can just go for leadership and rush. There are so many possibilities to play Raven as well. which are all good. There's literally not a wrong way to play Raven, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree, and also the like small amount of warriors. Like usually, if you are playing with Raven, it's like 5 to 10 warband on each clan. It's more interesting to me because it gives you space for more micro. When you play like 10 to 20 convert on each clan, it's pretty difficult to do something really good or really bad. It just depends on who presses the button first, I guess, and that's it.
Yeah, that's true. It makes the game certainly more interesting this way. Right? It's all about micro. And what I just thought of, like the ability to raid the main if you want to decolonize it, that's so strong as well. Right? So if you're like you said, like you usually have 5 to 6 warband in early Ada 1. And then the ability to raid with 6 additional mercenaries on the main to decolonize it is very strong. So
it allows you to answer free.
Yeah, or you can secure your victory. Like one of these 2 points. Okay, you just talked about Boar. Let's hear your Boar opinion.
Should we go for the war build version, because I think we skipped
yes.
Goat and Raven, both of them.
Yes, thank you. So for the lore for Goat, if you go for rush. Right, you should go for mining into shipbuilding into wool trade.
Yeah.
Right.
Usually it's enough to skip wool trade, I guess. Maybe because wool trade doesn't give that much. Maybe I'm wrong, but shipbuilding is definitely a must, or coinage.
Yeah.
Then you just go middle.
Yeah, and then you just go middle into military, and this is like basically your lore if your rush hits, and if it's like a little bit later, then maybe you can go into legendary or something, but that's usually your lore if you rush with Goat. Would you skip wool trade here, actually?
Yeah, I would actually skip wool trade, I think. I don't think it's like that big of a difference, but like I'm not sold on it, because I used to get a wool trade before.
Yeah.
In the previous patch, but it was pretty late.
Okay. Maybe it also depends on how many sheep you have. Right.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot have 4 sheepfolds here, and if you go rush, there is no chance that you upgrade them, so I don't think that's the best war to have.
Yeah, so I can set this. So you go into middle immediately, like this.
Yep, probably.
Okay, interesting. And of course, if you wanna go for late game Goat, you still go for amenities, because you need all the sheep in order for your sheepfolds to get upgraded. And
yeah, amenities is pretty good, because when your teammates starve, you just give them sheep, and that's it.
Yep, exactly. And then you can go into middle again. Maybe even go for negotiation as well right now. Right, so.
Yeah, negotiation actually could be good on Goat, but
yeah, but it's just better on all the other clans, right?
Yep.
Because it all boils down to army, and if you have like 20 army against 20 army, the Goat army is just weaker. That's the problem.
Main factor is also that Goat is pretty lore dependent, and if you don't have your lore open fast, or you don't have like 2 shores, then you're pretty much fucked. Then you cannot do anything. Your lore will be late.
Yeah. That's right. There's one other clan who's very dependent on lore. We come back to that.
But we are not talking about it right now, right?
No, we're not talking about it right now. Okay, let's quickly go into the lore for Raven, because I actually found that a lot of people still messed it up. I just still don't understand why. So obviously the first one, Stripe access into Rangers, and then what a lot of people do is they pick Journeyman here, which is just bad, because you want to mine stone ASAP to upgrade everything. So you don't need the extra happiness right now. You just go into mining efficiency, into exotic goods, and here you can.
Because I usually go for the Journeyman.
That's why I'm saying it. And now you can actually make a case for Journeyman, because if you don't have enough resources to upgrade your town hall and your scout camp at the same time, Then you can go into Journeyman and then into Carpentry. But if you don't need the extra happiness, you can skip the Journeyman for now and go into Carpentry instead. So it kind of looks like this. And this is.
What about erudition though?
Yes.
Like, what about erudition into negotiation? Isn't that strong?
That's a good case. So usually, if you want to go really greedy, you could go into erudition negotiation. I personally I never do that. I don't like that at all because I aim to finish the games very early, and like the pressure you have with your chief once you go into gear upgrade is really strong. So I think I really like to have recruitment in order for me to like come back from like if I pressure and they somehow kill my army, to come back from that. So I usually go for recruitment here and then gear upgrade and go into full this. I like this one better. But let's say maybe if the map is like really large, it's like this, and you think, okay, maybe I can't get any early aggression going. I actually think you're right. I think you can go into erudition negotiation, but it's very rare. I think like 10%, 10-20% of the game.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you go this on a large map, the other Raven can't do anything. Like if they don't kill you, then you just outscale.
I see.
But yeah, that's Raven. Good question, really good question. I actually just saw that like 2 days ago.
Yeah, because what I liked about the erudition Raven, when everyone gets a Yord, so I mean the first blessing, you actually get the second one already.
Yes.
And if nobody attacks you at this point, I think it's pretty difficult to deal with. You just outgrid them, and everything is just better for you.
Yeah. Greed, generally speaking, greed is the way to go. Really, I think it really depends. In Raven against Raven, it really depends on the map.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so this was my favorite. One of my favorites, the Raven. Okay, which clan do you want to go next?
Can we go Boar? I guess the Boar is one of the more frequent clans to see in 3v3s.
Yes, where do you want
to put it? And also you are pretty good in it, so I guess it's good to discuss.
You're a decent Boar as well, right?
No, I'm not. I have four games on Boar total, and four of them are wins, but it doesn't count.
Okay, I mean, 100%.
I guess Portas is right about it. Like any clans that can play 8-1 in 3v3 are pretty good here. So it's mostly like usual team com. I guess it's Raven, Wolf plus Boar. Maybe you can snake among them.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Or Squirrel.
Where would you put Boar here?
I think it's solid A. Probably not S, but A. It should be A, I guess.
Okay.
What about you? What do you think?
I'm still thinking. So I'm between B and A, right? Because you are very versatile. You can play for 801 rush. You could play for classic jar, classic altar, and the thing is with the rework Boar, if you go guardian and play very greedy and you have like a bear to defend, it's really hard for rush comps to kill you. And I think that personally makes the case for being A tier.
Yep, I agree, because it's very versatile now. It can fist and it can also go jar if you don't have a stag in your team, usually. I mean, usually it feels pretty good to play with a Boar. You know that the Boar player, if he's like decent enough, he's going to convert, he's going to scout, he's going to like land 1 or 2 fists at least, which is pretty nice to have in team.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can have buffer tiles. You can even like build camps, share camps as well, which is very nice. Yeah,
that's also very powerful. I agree.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on for the Boar. I agree. Okay, let's talk about the lore, because the lore for Boar is interesting as well. So there's like one very classic one and one very interesting one. So obviously we're going simple living, and if you like the normal board player, you go for colonization here, like 90% of the time, at least. So yeah, now comes lay of the land, and here it gets situational, right? I'm a very big fan of shipbuilding. I mean, it depends on the map. You could go barging as well, but I slightly favor shipbuilding here because you just get more lore. If you have like at least 2 coasts, I think it's worth it in my opinion, and it just fits so well with the clan. Right? The lore, the coins production simultaneously.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and bartering is really situational, right? I mean, if there's a Newton on the map or dwarves, you could go bartering. But if there's like only kobolds or Murkoff, I don't think that bartering is the play here.
What about bartering if you go for the jar?
Ah, okay. So if you go greed, then you can go full greed anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's.
I feel like Boar still needs lore more than happiness, and I'm not really sold on the jar buff.
I mean, if you need happiness, you can still build breweries. I mean, you are supposed to build breweries with jar anyway.
Yep.
So I don't think you need bartering when you go jar. But if you got like a very good map for bartering, then you can go for that. But I personally feel like you need a second lore income if you go for bartering.
Okay.
Because Boar used to build the lore relic, right? It's a very lore hungry clan, and if you like only have bartering, you only have 1 lore stone, you're going to have jar instead of Yermon. You're going to have a very rough time with lore.
yeah, I agree.
So,
I agree. It feels like Boar should be going for the lore a lot.
Yeah. And speaking of going for the lore a lot, I think we can make a case for going for handiwork. And if you go for jar and you have enough happiness, actually go erudition and then osmosis. Or even
interesting. So keeping handiwork, or
yeah, or even like skipping handiwork and doing it like this. Right, because lore is so important for Boar. And if you got so much lore and you're playing jar, you can even go more greedy and go recruitment legacy.
Okay.
Now
what about the legacy build if you build early alta with jar? What do you think about it? Is it not viable?
So before going erudition, like here.
No, I mean probably it should be right. I think it's after shipbuilding or something.
Okay, so here.
Like recruitment into legacy, like as a 6 floor. What do you think about it?
Interesting. So you forge. So you're forging you most likely finish with the forging of the jar here, right?
Yep. Okay. Around the legacy time, and then you go for the legacy, and then you go for the Baldur's Blessing instead of Yorts.
I see.
Okay. Is it good in your opinion? Have you played it?
If you've got a shipwreck, a lot of like if you can get the altar down, you usually get the altar down if you have like 2 ruins or ruin shipwreck, because you got all the gold without like working a lot of coins. I think then it's viable. Yes. But I like if you got a forest or fish and a ruin and a shipwreck. I think then you could try that.
Okay, got it.
But that sounds interesting. Okay, I'll definitely like try that out. I'll definitely try that out. Okay, interesting. That's maybe something like erudition here and then handiwork.
Leonard is saying that legacy never outbooms handiwork. I trust him on this one.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't like tried that ever. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I think it's about this one. I feel like this one is like the classic go-to build with Boar. Right. And of course, if you want to go for the rush Boar, you could You could skip the colonization, go for layout land, shipbuilding, handiwork. Sometimes you could make a case for skipping osmosis here. Really depends on when you want to go. If you want to go for very early 801, then you actually skip osmosis here. And this is like kind of your build. And you don't go colonization, you don't go osmosis, because you hit like a truck in 801 with a mixed army. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that was Boar. Very, very strong clan at the moment. So I'd suggest that we do the eco clans first. We do the
up to you.
The other clans later. So now Bear. Where do we put Bear?
I don't know. It's like C probably C or D.
Oh,
I don't think it changed at all from the last patch.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about what's good about Bear. Let's talk about the positives first.
Yeah, let's talk about the positives. So what I think is good about Bear is it's pretty easy to learn. Like if we are considering the new players, also the cost of the Bear and the timing you can have it. So it usually means the early clear if there are no anything big and difficult on connections like Valks or lots of joggers and stuff. Yeah, if you manage to have early 200, it means for you usually it means good economy. But I don't know, like it used to be a good clan in 801 too, but now I'm not really sure. Maybe it's still good, but I rarely see it in general.
Yeah, I mean
500 is pretty strong, but to get 500 you need not to have Raven probably in any of the teams. And like you should be the only clear, and the other clans should be pretty slow too, like Ox and Kraken or something like this.
Yeah. I mean, it's still very solid. Like when speaking about the rush potential, I think it's nice that you have the ability to withstand something like that in winter. If you can, you can drag it out, right? If you can just drag out the rush, and the rush 801 like starts to hit winter 802, then Bear can be very, very, very strong. And the ability to early clear is nice, but I mean, you have LYNX. LYNX can early clear as well, so why don't you go LYNX? It's like that's like basically the thing. If you can play Goat, why don't you play Stag? Right? If you can play play Bear, why don't you?
Feels right.
Yeah. The good point about the 500 fame part, I like that one. It's very, very hard to hit, and if you hit, you're very strong, right? But all the other clans are strong even without the 500. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it's very, very conditional, very situational, but still very solid. Like you said, it's not changed much. You can go negotiation with that as well, I think, if you wanna do that.
I think not. Like some people tried. If you know the Russian player Zombie, he's a like Bear specialist. He tried to do it, and it doesn't really work because of the war. Mostly it's a war problem. Because like the Bear clan is one of the worst in the game about like the war income. That's why if you actually go for the negotiations, there is no chance that you can get Hyber and harpoons anymore anytime. You just go middle after that, and that's it.
Yeah, and this is what makes your clan so strong, right? Hyber is so good because you can clear so much and then heal for free, and just harpoons means that you can sustain your military. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is like a classic Bear thing, and then you can usually do it like this. I don't know, maybe like this one. You can swap out Mistrat and Shield Mastery if you want.
Yeah, the only thing that is changing usually is Cowboy or Eradication and Mistrat and Shield Mastery. The rest is pretty standard. Yeah,
and that's. I mean, it's kind of sad because this clan's not as strong as the other clans in abusing negotiation. That's why it's so low.
Yeah, I agree.
Same thing kind of goes for the goat, right?
Yeah, maybe all the lower tier
Yeah,
have something in common.
yeah, we can see about that. I think it'll go in the right direction here. I got a feeling. I got a feeling in which direction it goes, actually. Okay, so this was the bear. Now it's interesting because I don't think both of us are experts on dragon. But
Yeah, I used to play it a bit, like just because of the interest. And in previous patch, Dragon was one of like not that many clans that could face Ox,
yeah,
so that's why I tried to learn it. But I don't know, like in my opinion, Dragon got worse in this patch. It was pretty strong in the beta,
yeah,
and that's why they probably decided to nerf it.
yeah,
And now I don't feel like it's a good clan unless if it definitely goes 8-2 and like the second half of 8-2, then Dragon can actually do something. But otherwise, I don't really think it's good in general.
There are some people who try to go for A1 dragon with like
Yeah, I saw it. I played against them. It's like it's
Nia.
Nikvek and his
Yeah.
premade, I guess, and
Yeah.
also like the American premade, I guess, with Nika.
Yeah.
I guess they tried it. It looks pretty funny.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. And usually it's pretty easy to defend.
Yeah.
I mean, at least it's a way how I felt about it.
Yeah. Now the big question, is it B or C? What do you think?
Good question.
I
I kind of feel it that it's B for some reason because it is still viable if you go late game.
Yeah, maybe if you like survive the early game and then you have strong military power that game.
Yep.
Because of the nightmare and your dragonkin and the ability to like heal as well in your standing in enemy territory. That's very strong as well. But you gotta get there.
Yes, the problem is that you need to get there. So Dragon got a lot of quality of life buffs, a lot.
Yeah.
Like the chief being a dragon, like a dragon unit that he's able to heal. But I think something is broken about chief. I just saw it yesterday, but okay, it's not. It's just a minor stuff. But in general, like Dragon was supposed to be stronger, but because everything else is playing faster now, Dragon just cannot find a place in the meta. That's the way I feel about it. And also, there are some strange food issues, I guess, with the patch. And like usually before, Dragon was able to sustain all the economy on one upgraded food and maybe plus silo. Now it's not really the case because sometimes you still struggle with one upgraded food. So this doesn't really feel good on Dragon because Dragon is very greedy clan. You want to have a camp in each tile, so you don't really want to waste this. And also, Dragon has a lot of wood problems. Wood is pretty slow on Dragon, so you don't really want to waste any of the wood.
I see. Yeah, it's kind of similar to Ox, right? It's like one of the only clans who needs 3 woodcutters.
I'm not sure about 3 woodcutters, but you definitely need 2 on Dragon and pretty early. If for most of the clans your second woodcutter goes in winter, for Dragon it's not the case. It usually goes pretty fast. It depends on the tiles you have and if you have shipwrecks and wood on the map, but usually it's just like your 4th or 5th building, maybe even earlier. I don't even remember, but something very early. Like for the Ox, it's third woodcutter goes in winter.
Okay, interesting. Maybe you can skip the third woodcutter slot because you can assign your slaves to the woodcutters now.
This is also possible. Now with the change, you can just assign extra thrall to the woodcutter, and that should do the thing. We can go for the lore, I guess, pretty quick. Maybe there's something to discuss, but mostly not.
I think we have to keep in mind that when we talk about Dragon, we can compare Dragon and Ox because these clans I feel like are pretty similar in their playstyle and hitting the power spike.
Yes, I agree. The thing is that right now it feels like Ox is just a better Dragon. Even previous patch it was like 50-50, and it's also very dependent on the player, on both players, I would say. Because if you just go and right-click Dragon, you are not going to win. There's no way that you are winning Dragon if you just right-click and don't do anything.
Yeah.
You need to kite Dragon if you want to win on Ox, but yeah, I guess we'll talk about this later.
But remember what you said. That's such good information.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. So dragon. I know of 2 different lore builds. You can
Yeah.
either
Let's
go top into middle, or you could go bottom, like the classic dragon build, into middle.
Interesting. I don't think that I saw top into middle build, so I think it will be interesting to see it first.
Yeah. The bottom one is like the classic one, right? Because
Yep.
you used to go for bottom into middle anyway, and usually, let me actually go. If you go bottom into middle, usually pick feeling safe, so you can secure your happiness, right? Because you have the Suture out at this point, and then you can go into this, or even like capture before. Depends.
I feel like capture is not really the wars that people are taking. Don't you think so?
Yes.
It's like feeling safe most of the time.
Yeah. At this point, yes. For 6th floor, yes. I agree. But I'm not sure if you take capture now after the iconic range.
I don't really think so. Like capture is a bit too much. It's like mining efficiency, but mining efficiency, there's no way you can skip it, right? So you need to take mining efficiency in order to take other wars. But for capture, I mean, it's not that great. People experimented with it sometimes, like they tried to go for the early neutrals and try to get them. So you get like warband for free, and you just go and harass opponent. But I didn't see that it had a lot of success, honestly.
Okay, good to know. Because capture was the way to go, but now it kind of turned into a meme.
Yeah.
You don't win much by going for capture. Okay, P4 Jacek has a very nice comment on that. Top is far better. 1 thrall is 16% to production, and 2 thralls are more than the 2 bottom lores. So actually like this.
I guess if he did the math and the numbers are correct, that's pretty strong because jar is 15% production and it has condition that you need to have around 10 happiness. If this one doesn't have condition and the math is right, then it does feel strong.
Yeah.
At least on the paper.
Yeah. The massive downside for that is that you are very slow on the mining and upgrading department, right? Or at least you're a little bit slower. But all of the other things I feel like are more natural. Like the wood is natural, like we talked about that. The dragon needs a lot of wood, and sharp axes certainly helps for that. And the blood, sweat, and tears for the wood helps as well, right? And
the problem is that you don't have carpentry, and if you don't have carpentry, you cannot upgrade camps, and if you cannot upgrade camps, you cannot play on dragon. Simple as that.
Exactly. So you basically like upgrade your sailors, and then you immediately start upgrading camps, and upgrading camps now feels less natural.
Yep.
Even when you have 2 stones fully mined. Yeah, I saw that as well. Wait. I actually feel like the Dragon Rush is actually this one. Wait, no, not this one.
You mean top into middle?
One? Yes.
Probably. Yes.
Yes,
it does make sense.
Yeah, I think this one was the Dragon kind of rush.
Yeah, even though it feels like it's a bit counterintuitive, because usually when you go rush, you try to get shipbuilding or coinage, but if there is a surplus on the thrall production, then it makes sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense. The only thing that I don't really understand about the dragon like this patch is that the war build for the clan, even in the previous patch, was free bottom. So it feels very natural to get negotiation as a 4th war and just to delay your feeling safe or something else a bit, but it will allow you to scale much better. But when I tried it, it really did not feel good. Because of the tile space as well, maybe, and because of the nature where the clan is very slow, it just doesn't feel good. Even if any clan almost if you go negotiations on KRAKEN, you're pretty strong in 8 or 3.
Yes.
Like if and you are decent in 802 anyway, and like you just don't exist in 801, I guess.
Yes.
In this
Yeah.
case, and if you go like for negotiation as STAG, you are strong like at almost any point, like from 802 middle. For same goes for the horse, but like for the dragon, I didn't feel that impact. Maybe it's just me, but
Yeah. One good question. What if Dragon War Building is able to recruit 2 instead of 1? I think that would ultimately catapult Dragon to A tier immediately, because you can get ready way easier, because you need
yeah,
less
maybe.
wood. Yeah, I mean, you need like 300 less
This
wood.
would definitely help. Yes,
Yeah.
this would definitely help. Not sure if it would make this clan like A tier for sure, but probably
Yeah.
B. Like so would be that would be
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay, so we actually, because we have it in B tier, we can safely assume that Dragon is like B minus. Right? It's like
Yeah,
at the
maybe.
bottom
Yeah,
of
something in the
B.
middle. It doesn't really belong to B. It doesn't really belong to C. I feel like.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. That was fun.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
a little fun. I didn't think that discussing Dragon would be so fun, actually. Okay, now comes the Kraken. I am just going to go ahead and drag that bad boy to S. So
I'm not sure about that, honestly. Like, even though like a lot of people say that like Kraken is by far the best clan, I mean, yes, it is very good. Like, I cannot deny that it's strong, but it feels more like 8 to me because it's 8-1 potential unless there's someone else except of you to scout, and you are not forced to fist. Is a bit limited, I would say.
okay, so
And yeah, it's rushable too. So in case you want to play for 8-2, Kraken usually does not really have a lot of potential to death unless like everyone else is ready in your team. But that's my opinion.
okay, so you would say it's a case for A, right?
Yeah, for me it's a
Okay. So you have a very, very strong military power in 802, right?
yeah.
If you do everything correctly, you get like a crazy convert. You got your 6 ghosts, or even 5 ghosts, and bodyguard, war chief, 2 Valkyries, and if you're really, really lucky, maybe even a Jotun. Right. So I think the potential is crazy, but I kind of agree. It's I would have placed it in S minus, because it's still very situational, because it's depending on the map. If you go for, you must go for merchants, and if the clear players just kill every neutral, then your clan already is very bad, right? It's very, very bad. And the way Kraken is played right now, it's pretty scripted. Like, if you're playing against Kraken, you know what to expect. You know, okay, in 802 the Kraken will hit like a truck, and good players will play around that, right? They will
Yes.
they will either attack earlier, or they will get so ready for that Kraken convert in early. So actually, like when we talk about the lore, we can see that as well. You go mining efficiency, then you wait for the spirit, right?
Yes, so it's a bit of a tricky part
Yeah,
because usually when I play 3v3s, I love to go sharp access first.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I play it. I mean, I rewatched the gameplay of Eva Plus versus Neuron in Only Rex tournament. Of course, it's 1v1, but in 1v1 on small map, you can pretty comfortably say that it's almost as 3v3. You usually operate as in 3v3. So the problem with mining efficiency into the near the sea spirit is that by this time that you hear near the sea spirit, you don't have all your tiles high tided.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, because ideally you would like to have all your tiles affected by the high tide buff, and then you want to take near the sea spirit. If you go for the mining efficiency, usually it's a bit too fast. So like then I usually just don't take the war, or even sometimes I go for the knowledge from beyond if I have open. neutrals, and then only I get near the sea spirit, because in order to get some ghosts you need to have minus happiness.
Yeah.
And minus happiness, usually the usual timing for you to go for the ghosts is the first winter, and the spawn rate of them is just not that great unless you get a Valkyrie, because Valkyrie gives you permanent -3 debuff for the beard, unless you sacrifice her or lose her in a battle or something else.
Yeah.
Yep. So the speed of the ghost is just not enough to high tide all your tiles. So that's why I usually go into sharp axis, then into mining efficiency. Then it goes like right in timing for me to near the sea spirit and then to knowledge from beyond. But yeah, I guess when you kind of suspect the rush from enemies, or you want to go for the rush yourself, it's mining efficiency into the near the sea spirit and into the knowledge from beyond usually.
Yeah, and then into Endless and
yeah, and then you go middle. Always go middle.
Okay. One interesting part about Kraken, right? You want to ramp up your population first, and then you want to get all your ghosts for the near this sea spirit lore, and then you like kind of are set up for your crazy economy, right? Because you get a lot of vills because you build like 2 Hergers, even upgrading 1 Herger sometimes, and then you can like scale really hard. And I think in 802 there is no clan who can match the potential tech power of a Kraken. Like if you only look at the military, like the convert, it's always like Kraken being like way above 20, 22, 25, and if you are Kraken against Boar, I think Kraken will win this. In my opinion.
I feel so too. If you use the high tide on your ghost, which is a bit damaged in the beginning of the fight, and if you micro, there is no way to lose. But yes, if you don't micro, it's pretty easy to lose on Kraken if you don't micro, to be honest, because ghosts are pretty slow, and if you don't put them first, then it's just easy, because your chief, I don't know, like chief of Kraken feels like the fastest chief in the game for some reason, and it's easy to snipe, like very easy to snipe. And if you lose chief, your bodyguard automatically dies, and you lose like 1 unit and for some like defense as well, and then it also comes down, like usually you don't have that many warriors. It's ghosts, it's Valks, and if you manage to snipe warriors, then it's easy. It's actually pretty easy to deal with the Kraken. That's why usually when you play with Kraken, it's more important than with any clan to bind all the units and also to group up, and then to attack 1 by 1. Otherwise, you'll just feed.
Yeah, I see. That's one thing you have to keep in mind. So maybe the potential is very great, but it's more difficult to execute, because with like Ox or Boar, you just Warriors go Boar, right?
Yeah. It's not just right click. Yeah, you cannot just right click and expect to win, even though you have like 5 to 10 units more than enemy. It depends on the micro skill.
Yeah.
And luck a bit.
Yeah. And by the way, the thing you said about the taking sharp axis in the beginning, because you're very boot hungry as well. I like this one a lot, because you hit the power spike in 802 with the Ran's blessing, right? So you got like three spectrals already. Then you got the extra 3 spectrals, and then you go to hand with your Valkyries, your War Chief, your Convert, and your 6 spectrals. And
okay, go on. I will comment later.
Yeah, and if you don't take sharp axis, right? If you reset this build and you go for the classic one, this one, then you don't have Rans here, right? So I'm not sure how important it is to actually have Rans here, but if you want to go with Rans, then it makes a lot of sense to go sharp axis first.
I would say that's a bit dependent on the situation and on what your team wants and what enemy team wants. I usually almost never go for the Ran's blessing first. The reason is that yours just gives you so much, and if you see that there is no way that game goes 8-1, I always go for the yours blessing. Reason is that you just have 2 upgraded food, and that's it.
Yeah.
2 upgraded food will give you at least 2 fists in 8-2. 2 feasts is pretty massive, and it will also boost up like your potential to get runs blessing. And runs blessing alone on itself is not that great, honestly.
Yeah.
It depends also. It also very dependent. Let's think about like some clans that go for the like strong military build. If they get Monster Slayer, like let's say, I know Ox can actually fit in Monster Slayer in 802. What else? For the stag, I'm not sure. Like Eagle can sneak in Monster Slayer. It gets pretty difficult to you if like most of your army is ghosts, and even if opponent focuses them, he just kills them very fast.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure about ghosts. Usually for me, like when I'm playing Kraken, I only have like 2 to 4 ghosts. Maybe it's just me not playing well. Who knows? But yeah,
Okay.
I feel like warriors are the firepower of the Kraken. You
Yeah.
need to have like around 10 of them.
Yeah, at least. Yeah. But
Yep.
you should be able to, because you get so much coins from near the spirit board.
Yep.
Right. So do you think it's worth it to wait for runs in order for the attack to like?
No, definitely not. If you go
Okay.
801, then you need runs because it's 3 units, and like in 801 every unit counts because
Okay.
you are going to fight against the pop, or probably with the pop if they are going on you. So runs blessing is pretty decent, and if they go on you and they are fighting on your main, you can just press the button anytime when they enter, and you have suddenly +3 units for free.
Yeah.
And if you want to go on them, you just go for the runs blessing as soon as you have 2 ghosts already, and then it's 5, and then it's easy because you have 5 ghosts, chief as 6th unit, bodyguard as 7th, 1 Valk, let's say, because you cannot have 2. It's 8, and even if you have like 2 warriors at this point, you have 10 units.
Yeah, so it's
pretty hilarious.
So it's a very strong rush defender potentially, right? Because you have such a zoo of, of different units.
Yep. But then yes, you have to keep this rush thing in mind, because if you don't, then usually you already wasted all your resources on like upgrading something and stuff, and you cannot death. The power of the Kraken, in my opinion, like, and not only in my opinion, I heard it actually from the better players, is that convert doesn't consume food mostly, unless you have a lot, like 10, even 10 warriors doesn't mean that much for most of the clans. And most of your units just do not consume food. Like ghosts do not consume food, bodyguard, chief, valkyries, nothing of this consumes. So it's like free convert.
That's
it.
Amazing, right? But
that's very strong.
Yeah. So question from chat: does Monster Slayer work against Kraken unit, or against which Kraken
it works against ghosts only so far, as far as I know.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Makes sense. By the way, like having the lower Monster Slayer alone makes picking a Dragon clan even less ideal.
That's yeah.
So gotta add to that, so that like solidifies the position of the Dragon being like B or very low B. Right? Because there's a lore specifically kind of countering you. Like, not full countering you, but kind of. Okay, interesting part. Now that we established that Kraken kinda belongs to A or A+, where do you think?
Like,
yeah,
I think it's A still. Even though, like, when I talk about it, I'm saying like mostly positive things. I still think it's A. I don't think it's S.
Okay. I think it's A+, because the only thing holding a Kraken back right now is Raven just countering the living hell out of
Raven and 801 potential. Yes, agreed.
Like,
but it's also It's also playable against Raven. You just need to get lucky with tiles.
Yeah. Do you build fish on your main tile when you're playing against Raven?
Well, yeah, usually that's the problem. Like on Kraken, you want to have 2 production tiles, and usually it's main plus 1 tile next to your main. So it's really difficult to escape.
I mean, okay. Maybe we can tower that early, and well, I'm not. In my opinion, it's impossible to defend an early 801 with Kraken against Raven.
Yeah, I agree. Like tower wouldn't help because it's 6 mercs. You will need to have a lot of pop plus chief plus bodyguard plus probably ghost plus Valk, and it's a lot of commitment to just defend one main.
Yeah,
a bit too much.
Yeah. Okay, so
Also, one important thing that I would like to add about the Kraken. Kraken plus Boar is pretty decent in the way that you can send one ghost to the Boar tile if it has a lake in it, and you can water it, so Boar has enhanced production in his tile. Same goes for the bear.
Yeah.
You can just help the bear out with additional fish, but that's just minor. Can be huge though, like in some situations.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yep.
But the thing is, if you're playing Kraken and Boar, and Kraken is highly dependent on neutrals, and the neutrals are nice, there could be the possibility if the Boar goes for buttering that it's a disaster because when the neutrals die, it's bad for both.
Yeah, I also saw the same thing. I played with a Boar like the other day on this week, and he went for the same giants as me. I'm like,
no.
I don't really care. But the problem is that he does care. Like for him, it's important to get the giant. For me, it's like I just need to trade with something.
Yes.
If I get giant, it's great. If not, it's like I don't care.
Yeah.
He wants the giant. That's a bit problematic. I agree.
Yeah. But yeah, the Boar has to adapt. Right?
Yeah, I guess it's like it's not a big deal for the Kraken, but Kraken, I guess I feel like Kraken is faster on trading than Boar.
Yeah. So I personally would place the Kraken higher than the Boar.
Yeah,
I'd say that
I'm fine with it.
The Kraken does the things the Boar does better, except the 801 rush. Because it can defend a rush and it has a better convert. But I think the Boar is more versatile than the Kraken. And the Kraken, like you said, it's kind of dependent on the lore. It's kind of dependent on the map, so it feels a little bit situational. But after the patch, like the potential it has is so amazing that I think it solidly places it at A or A+ tier.
Yep, I agree. In this sense, it makes sense to place Kraken above the Boar.
Okay, let's go for the next one. This one will be interesting. The snack. Okay. I go first with the snake, okay?
We are talking about snake, right?
Yes, the snake.
Yes, you go for the snake because I'm totally noob on it.
Okay. So if you're talking about the snake, let's actually look at the lore. So we got the Rush early aggression clan right here, and this clan is so toxic and so strong still because it can move through neutrals, and since you can easily burn for resources now, it just secures your entire ecosystem right from the get-go. Like you just find a food tile, find an amazing food tile, even maybe better a double food tile. You go into Rapacious, Exploitation, into Stolen Lore, and then you will just set up. There are two different builds the snakes do. The usual snake goes for City Builder here, right? So you go into this one, the City Builder Stone Lore. But I've seen two other players doing something different. I'm not sure if I can share that, but they completely skip on the City Builder part, and they go for either Journeyman or Field Rations, depending on which clans they play with. And honestly, like going Journeyman, if you're playing Snake Raven, it feels so busted. Like I didn't do that on stream so far, but this feels so busted because you have a lot of army, and you still get a lot of villagers as well who can produce a lot. Like this is nothing to sneeze at, and you can easily go for 10 to 12 skirms 801 this way, like easily. And even if you need to scout, you can even scout. But obviously with the Raven, you're not supposed to scout, but you could, in theory, scout with Snake as well. So yeah, going for this, then going for even fur coats is fine if you're going for warriors, but like this, and you're just an 801 machine. Right, this is very, very strong. The problem with is with Snake, if you're playing it this way, it's just all in, right? Just like all the other 801 clans, this is kind of all in. So if you don't like going all in with Snake, which I feel like is the way Snake is supposed to be played, you can go for another stolen lore. You can go for the city builder part and upgrade a little bit, right? Upgrade your docks, save up a little bit on coins, and then build warriors instead, and go for this one. Right, this is like the warrior build. And if you need the happiness, you should go for feeling safe, in my opinion. Because with city builder, you kind of lack the happiness with Snake. So yeah, this is the one which is played a lot by high elo players as well.
Can I add something to what you said?
Of course, and ask away and ask questions. Of course.
Yeah, I saw the journeyman build in action. I actually liked it a lot, and what goes well with happiness, you always know, it's Char.
Yes.
So if you're able to go Char on Snake, that is pretty solid too, because it allows you to have a lot of production bonus, and also it synergizes well with your high happiness. You can convert a lot, you can reconvert, and that's it.
Yeah.
It also depends on the map too, but Jar Snake feels very good.
Yeah.
That's how I feel it.
Yeah.
And city builder part, that's yes, I also felt it. I tried Snake a couple of times. The problem is that yes, with city build you get a slot for the brewery, but the problem is that yes, Snake does lack some happiness at a certain point. I guess around 14 pop or something like this.
Yeah.
Brewery doesn't really feel well for the clans that wants to harass an 801 to have that low of a population and needing to build a brewery at this point.
I see. Well, thing is, when do you go Jar with Snake? in which case do you go for Jar?
I'm not really sure about it. Like if you know that game doesn't go 801.
Okay. Okay. So you're telling me, wait, let me actually so you go for, let's say it's a very large map, and you go for the journeyman build and weaponsmith fur coats. That's fine. Maybe this one and this one later. And actually, maybe recruitment because you fight. So you go for strong warrior army into having the ability to reconvert.
Yep.
Yeah.
It adds to the recovery factor, because once you go 801 on Snake, usually it's not very. If you lose your convert, that's GG usually.
Yeah, in an 801 rush especially. Yeah. I mean, because it reinforces. I mean, because of the rapacious exploitation, you collect the resources, right? And if you don't have any military units to collect resources, it's just you're not a clan anymore. It kind of defeats your identity.
So where do you want to put the Snake in this patch? Because you are playing tournament games, you probably have more experience in it, because in the usual 3v3s, Snake is not a clan you can see in most of the games, because it's somewhat banned, or you just cannot find two players on different teams to play it.
Yeah. That's a good question. So I think we gotta differentiate. If you got a team pre-made speaking with each other, I think Snake is insane clan. It's such a threat to go early, to harass early. Depending on the map, it can get even stronger. Imagine having Helheim Gate in a very small map, and the gate and the Snake can just harass with Valkyries in 801, which is insane, right? There's no way you can defend that if there's two Valks running into your tile together with a Snake. It just means you lose your chance. So I think Snake actually has the potential to be one of the strongest clans. I don't think it's quite on the level of Raven, Stag, and Kraken, because I feel like these three clans are... okay, the two clans are at the top S tier are broken, and Kraken is borderline broken. So I think it's kind of A tier. But if you're talking about team games, I think it's B tier. Like non-pre-made team games where everything can go wrong or something, then it can be B tier. But I think because of its potential, because of its ability to rush 801, because it can scout, because it can feast, having the ability to play different playstyles, like you said, with the Jar, City Builder, with the Journeyman, I think that solidifies it as A-, in my opinion.
Yep. I agree that it's pretty broken in pre-mates, but other than that, like, I don't really see the Snake as a threat unless I have teammates who I'm not confident about.
Yeah. I completely agree with you. It's actually so funny. Like it's the same game mode, but playing with pre-mates makes such a difference.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm a little bit sad about the next I'm a little bit sad about the next clan. So it's the horse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's going for the horse? Let's start with the positives. So we've got a clan who can go for negotiation. It has very good rush defense potential because of the two war chiefs and the bodyguard. But the late game potential of horse compared to all the other late game potentials, speaking of Boar, Kraken, and maybe even Dragon and Ox, is weaker. I think it's lower. The potential of the horse is lower compared to these clans in a direct competition. The thing that is going for the horse, in my opinion, which I think it solidly establishes itself in B tier, is it can do a lot of things, right? You have an easy time scouting. You can feast if you want to. You don't have an easy time feasting, but it's not so difficult to feast. And you can go for different playstyles. You can go for the negotiation build. You can go for the classic build. You can actually do this, right? So this is like the classic horse, and you can go for the, let's say, like dirty horse, which is kind of like this, or kind of like this rather. You can skip quality of life, obviously, because you go for breweries. So there are different builds you can do with horse, and horse is still a very, very solid clan, don't get me wrong. But the late game clans which are in the game right now can demolish a horse. If we look at the direct comparison, so if you're looking at the 802 convert, Kraken just stomps horse. If you look for an 803 convert or late 802, Dragon and Ox just stomps horse. Right? Ox Relic is too strong, Dragon Army is too strong. So horse is just a very, very solid clan, and I think it's still a good clan. I don't quite agree with others saying that horse is like the worst clan right now, but I don't think it's higher than B tier right now. It's very solid, but it's not the best in terms of eco clan. I'm crying inside a little bit right now. Okay, what do you think, Magnus?
I agree on most of the things that you said. It cannot really go higher than B. The only thing that I would like to add that actually horse is pretty good in mid game. And as you said, like it has some 801 potential too. The problem is that the chiefs are way weaker than they were in previous patch, and like relics are nerfed and stuff. The only thing that saves horses is grid. So if you manage to still sneak into relics, maybe not like necessarily to relics, but negotiation build does work fine with it. If you go for legions and upgrade your camps, then it's pretty okay. I feel like then it can actually fight off the Ox in 1v1.
Yeah. I tried that when we were playing against each other.
Yes, I remember.
For negotiation, and I had like 18 convert with like 10 plus 6.5 warriors, which was fine. But I mean, if you go for that with Horse, why not go for that with Ox?
Yeah.
Because you can do that plus relic, right? This is
yes.
Yeah, but I mean, Horse can be ready earlier than Ox. So it's like the thing that is really going for the clan.
Yep, you need to abuse the timings on Horse.
Yes,
that's what I feel.
Yes.
Once you miss your timings, then it gets very difficult very fast.
Yeah. That's actually a good point, because the timings on KRAKEN and Ox are kind of like scripted. If you play the clan like it's supposed to be played, the timing is always like 8:02, right?
Yep.
And with Forest, you can be ready with 8 warband with your chiefs while forged, and you can go into these territories. So in case of a direct conflict, if you're 3v3, everything is mirrored except the Horse KRAKEN or Horse Ox. I think the Horse can actually beat that. And I kind of like started beef on Discord. I feel like, because everyone was like, yeah, Horse is so bad, oh my god, like compared to Dragon and Ox, it's so bad. But I really wanna see that in a 2v2 or 3v3 aspect, because I'll be ready in 801 with Horse. I'm going to be so ready in 801. And you can show me how you can defend an 801 double war chief bodyguard forged 8 to 10 convert with an Ox.
Yeah, it's difficult. If there's pre-made against you and Horse not Horse, if Ox somehow managed to get Thorfinn and Relic at the same time, then it's I would say
that's over.
It's defensible.
Yeah, yes.
But other than that, yeah, it's pretty difficult. If your team plays well too, if they are bringing some warriors and chiefs,
then
it's difficult.
So, question is it better than Dragon? I feel like it's better than Dragon.
Yeah, me too. Like, so I do see Horse from time to time, and Dragon is like 1 in 20 to 30 games.
Yeah, because just the ability to get ready earlier, to like can provide the support for the team. The Dragon, like the military is strong, but scouting is kind of rough. The timings are kind of rough, and the late game is very good.
Dragon is too vulnerable, I would say.
Yeah.
If Dragon converts, you can just back anytime, and Dragon will have to fight.
Yes.
There's no way he cannot deconvert, he cannot do anything.
Yeah.
He has to fight.
Yeah.
And like this doesn't go for Horse.
Yeah. Okay, nice. That went well. Next clans for you. All yours, Magnus.
So we are leaving a wolf, as I say, for the dessert. Right?
No, of course. The clear clans are for later.
So I would place Ox B tier, pretty much B tier, maybe even C, but I still want to think that it's B.
Okay, I see.
I mean, usually people still like to play the same way as the previous patch. Ox was one of the strongest, if not the strongest clan in previous patch, as well as the goat, probably, as well as the wolf, as well as eagle. Yeah. So like those 4 clans, I think were good. Horse was pretty strong too in the last patch.
Yes, it was very strong. Yes, I agree.
It was very strong, but now, I mean, not that many things changed about Ox, and it still feels okay to play. The only problem is 801. 801 Ox is nothing. It's non-existent, I would say. Unless you go the rush build, which means you don't mine stone, you don't upgrade anything, and it also means that once you convert dice, the game is over for you. You cannot do anything.
Yeah.
So I mean, Ox is very greedy. You can like any decent Ox has a lot of fame usually. In 801, like only problem for Ox is to get 500, and 500 is important, but not the deal breaker. It usually comes down to the timings of the relic and on how your team and the enemy team is ready or not ready against it. So uh, nothing changed about Ox in this aspect. The only thing that changed is like the buying from the market is just more affordable in this patch. So if I could actually play without markets in the last patch, I cannot play without markets anymore, because usually I have to buy a lot of stuff during the game. Like almost in every game on Ox, I buy from 50 to 200 or maybe even 300 food on Ox. I also usually buy some iron if I don't manage to get second iron, because I need to, like, you need a lot of iron on Ox. Your chief is 15 iron, your relic is 10 iron.
Yeah.
Forging with ferocious charge is like 6 iron total if you want full upgrade 4 without axe throwers. So if you don't get the second iron, you cannot do it without buying some additional iron, and sometimes even stone when you want to upgrade some couple of camps. Well, yeah, I mean, nothing to talk about. Usually Ox is just converted. Like, once he gets Thorfinn, he just converts one by one because of the 200 fame bonus. The usual build, war build, is the following as you do. Power passes into color into city builder, and then you go middle. Feeling safe is a must, because otherwise you don't really have happiness unless you go brewery. I also tend to go brewery more often than in previous patch, because it feels a bit better to play Ox with 24 to 28 pop rather than 20 to 24 as like without brewery. But that's like not that much of a difference unless you want to convert higher than 10.
Okay, that's so interesting. Yes, I didn't know that you can.
Yep.
For feeling safe and brewery. By the way, two things I want to add. So with Ox, you have one of the best, if not the best relic in the game. This relic changes fights. Right? The ability to tank with the Thorfinn if you are forged with shield bearers, like you told me. That's why the reason why you take leadership of Ox. So Thorfinn can tank all this stuff, and then your army can just wipe the other army, and the taunt is just so strong, right? And also you made a very good case with Dragon. With Dragon, you're basically like forced to fight with army. With Ox, your Ox clan is designed to convert and then run around with your converted units because of your fame bonuses. So it actually doesn't hurt you much that you stay converted on 7 to 10. Right?
It doesn't hurt you at all. It actually buffs your production. The only thing that suffers is food.
Exactly.
The only problem is food.
Yeah.
That's why you need the market.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, you just build one market, work with one or two more merchant there, buy food if you need it, and that's okay.
The thing is that yes, I think what you wanted to ask about is the ferocious charge. The point that gives additional damage on the first collision, on the first hit.
Yes.
That is what very important, and that is what probably makes a difference between Ox players. I mean, except of the like eco, convert, and like timings. You want to bind all your warriors all the time on one button, and also you want to bind your chief, and you need a lot of micro to play decent Ox. You need a lot of micro, to be honest, because you want your Thorfinn to receive a lot of damage but not die. It's very important, because otherwise your relic is useless, and getting second Thorfinn in most of the games is just purely impossible.
Yeah.
It costs 250 gold and 15 iron, and it also like respawn time is just hilarious. It's like 1 year or something. Like, it's way too long. And if you lose Thorfinn, usually it means, and if you don't go Legends on Ox, then it means, usually it means that the game is over, unless opponent overextends too much. And ferocious charge, like the charge abuse, is very important against Dragon, even more important than with any other clan, because you need to snipe his units one by one. If you just press right click, you will be your warriors will melt.
Yes, you will lose.
Because they are spinning, and warriors do not have a lot of health points, and armor doesn't really help there. So what you want to do is just you charge once, you kill one dragon kin or like one Jotnar, then you charge back, and then you kite it like this. If you don't do this, there's no way you can win Dragon. Like, just simply no way. And also, it's very important to use Relic well on Ox. And I don't know, like, Dragon is just too much of damage. Like, once I thought that it's impossible to lose Chief, my Thorfinn, against Dragon, and it melted in 5 seconds after the Relic. That's it. I wasn't able to save it. So it's important to micro.
Interesting. Okay. Well, one thing you have to watch out for. I mean,
about the Warcraft build, also the like Renegade wrote about the true Oxes go Warcraft. Yes, you can go Warcraft and skip middle, but then you need to be sure that your eco is so strong that you can, and your team needs to be on the same page with you, and they don't need to go early because you will not be ready if you go for the Warcraft. I mean, well, you will be ready. The problem here is that you will not have Ferocious Charge, so it's a bit less damage. You will not have Talent Save, which means that you will probably hit a point when you don't have Happiness and your pop will be lower. And also, you probably want Alta in this build as well, usually when you go Warcraft. And Alta is like 2 upgraded camps and a lot of gold. So I don't really think it's worth it. I like it a lot, but it's not viable.
Yeah, I mean, it feels nice, right? You're basically like farming XP and lore and fame and
it's actually a win condition. It's a win condition for extra win condition for the Ox. If you go Warcraft plus Alta, then you have a fame win available. If you don't go for it, you are just like a usual clan that needs to fight.
Yeah. So when talking about the Ox Dragon, because I feel like Ox and Dragon are very, very close. Just the ability to step back and being able to win the fight against the dragon, even in late game, I think we can make a case that Ox can be better than Dragon. I would ask you for your personal preference, because I don't know if Ox is better than Dragon, honestly.
I think Ox is better than Dragon. It's like simple question to me.
Okay.
Because unless it's Dragon attacking you, and you attacking Dragon, that's pretty easy to me.
Okay.
Honestly, because if Dragon goes on you, then it's a bit of a problem, because kiting Dragon is not as easy, especially in your tiles. But if you go on him, that means that he's not ready, and usually it's an easier game. Also, Dragon as Ox doesn't usually have a lot of pop, and Thralls are pretty weak, so it's not difficult to kill all the pop and stuff.
I see.
Charlotte, the X thing doesn't really work anymore, the X thing, the cancel. It used to be the thing and they fixed it later on. The problem now is that when you press RAM ability and then you just press any button, even if it's move, your Thorfinn gets bugged in the place and you cannot move it, and then it's a free kill for enemy. Try not to use anything when you use RAM ability unless the building is destroyed, or you will just lose your chief. It's a very annoying bug.
Good to know.
Because I had it in FFA. I lost to Dragon, by the way.
Oh, no.
This way, I was killing, I was destroying his upgraded camp, and then I just pressed, I guess, right click, just because I wanted to move, and my Thorfinn froze there. That's it. I couldn't control it.
Yeah. I see. Okay. Well, thank you for your insight. That was very, very helpful for the Ox.
Thank you for asking.
Insight by the Ox Master himself. It was great. Okay, let's move on to the rats. So we've got a clan. I mean, we talked about situational clans before, right? So KRAKEN is very situational. Snake is very situational. Thing about these clans, they are A tier because the S tier clans, they are good like on every map. Like, they don't care about the spawn whatsoever, they are just good at what they do. And now we've got a clan with the rat who's even more situational than the clans we talked about before, because the rat has to have a lot of different things. First of all, you cannot pick rat in a Raven game. That's just if you're picking red in a Raven game, you can just surrender. You can just straight up surrender. The same goes for Snake. If you're red against Snake in a team game, it's just over, because the Snake and the Raven will just bully you into oblivion, and then you can just tap out. The thing which makes the red, in my opinion, not D tier, and at least C tier, is because of the merchant's negotiation tile and the ability to just snowball so hard that your shamans are very, very strong. And the problem with red is because of the spawn, because it needs a lot of lore, because it wants to have negotiation as fast as possible, that it's very dependent when you get ready, right? So if you get ready in A1, late A1, that's fine. Then you are actually a clan. If you can defend a rush, then that is okay. But if your lore is closed, and let's say the worst case, the clear clan can't clear your lore, it's over. It's just the whole thing doesn't work anymore. You won't get to negotiation, or you will get to negotiation way too late, and then you can just simply tap out, right? And just this possibility is what makes this clan not S and A tier. You can make a case for being B tier, because when we talked about the Ox and the Dragon, they are B tier because of their very strong late game potential, and the late game potential of red, in theory, is the best in the game, because the shamans gain health when you upgrade shaman camps. But in order to get to there in a normal team game high GP setup is impossible. It's just that's very, very hard to do. You can do that if your spawn's amazing, and if you get cleared, if you get your lore fast, if you have sheep. But otherwise, in a team game setup, that's just impossible. What do you think, Magnus?
Yep, totally agree with you. Like, not really many things to add. Like in previous patch, red 8-1 was a thing. Not like a commonly not a common practice, but I still saw like a couple of times when I was rushed by a red with chief and 10 shamans in 8-1. But now I don't really think that's like anyone is doing it, because like negotiations build is just so much better. But too many ifs for the red.
Yeah.
Like you need a lot of conditions to be met, and this is just simply not a thing unless you have a mirror.
Yeah, I agree. Like if all the ifs are realized, then red has the potential to be the strongest on this list, right? Let's say if you have a lot of space, if you get cleared fast, if you have a sheep lore stone spawn, then you are ready in mid 801. The rushes like don't bother you at all. You can get 10 shamans out easily with that. But if the spawn is just slightly bad for you, or even like worse, then it's just GG. Even if you play perfect, right?
Yep. Also, Eagle and Wolf are pretty strong against red too.
Yeah.
Like Eagle because he can scout by himself and harass early, which will not allow you to do anything on red, and will force like enemy clear to come on your side. And Wolf is just will get a lot of gold because all of your pop is usually wounded, which means free gold for the Wolf. Just someone if someone is just scouting.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Same goes like for the LYNX. If you got an archer there and fire arrows, and if you hit like one fire arrow, then the villager's just dead because it's wounded in the first place. Yeah. Okay, so we can agree that it's very, very vulnerable and very, very situational, but still like it has the potential to be good, but just not in 2v2 or 3v3 team games. Yeah, I'm just thinking about if we talk about 2v2 team games. I mean, 2v2s are much slower than 3v3s. Is there a possibility where red is better than another clan of this list?
I'm actually not sure about 2v2s because I don't really play them so often, and when I play 2v2 it's usually like Raven plus Wolf or something.
Okay.
So yeah, and I can't really talk about like it being slower because I've never seen it slower than actually 3v3. So I guess it's up to you to decide.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Okay, then I'll just stick it into CT because I still feel like it's very situational. And what's going for the red as well? If the lore stone is empty at first, and you can colonize it, you have an easy time clearing the rest because you hit your chief very fast. Right? You need only 10 wounded guys, and you want to build a shaman camp anyway, and then you can get your chief out and your chief heals and clears. That's very good. But the thing is, all the other clans, like we place in S, A, and some even in B tier, they can clear easily as well. Right? So KRAKEN, you can clear yourself with a ghost. Boar, you actually don't need to clear yourself. Snake can clear himself, and even Raven has an easy time clearing himself by sending mercenaries to your coast tiles. Like all the other clans like can do it. Horse can do it. I don't know about Ox. I think Ox needs a little bit of help clearing, but even with Ox you can just, if it's a very bad spawn, you can just pick one warrior and clear yourself. Right. So Red has a harder time doing that because if you invest into a shaman camp and a shaman at first, that's so bad. Because that maybe delays your chief, that delays your entire build. And red is like the worst to clear the early lore stone on its own. All the other clans can do that.
And red chief is relatively weak too, so you cannot really like clear a lot with red chief.
Yeah. We've got a comment from one of the stream from KVG XD. I think red can be played another way, going into medicine overworking and then mid lore, and that way he's not that much vulnerable early. That is true. The question is it worth it to sacrifice your entire late game potential by skipping negotiation?
I think he has a point because we played against him and his premade yesterday.
Yeah.
It was me and Alex.
Yeah.
But the thing is that the way that Kivichi is talking about the war pass, it is the way that it was played in the last patch. So you usually went for the sharp access at the colo into medicine.
Yep.
Usually like sneaking in recruitment sometimes as a 4th war, and then it's middle. This really does help the early like 8-1 potential of the red. Like usually you don't want to go with it yourself on enemy, but if enemy goes on you, then you are able to defend. So yeah, this pretty much happened yesterday when we went on the red. He was almost able to defend himself against 2, which didn't really feel good.
I see. One thing I have an issue with when you're going this way, if you're smart, right? If you know something like this exists and you scout, you will see eventually that the red doesn't have 2 buildings on one time. So your low path...
overcrowding is there, Warsman. I just forgot to mention it. Overcrowding is there. Actually, overcrowding is there. Like I'm not really sure, but it's probably as a 2nd war or maybe as a 3rd war after Colo or something.
Okay, wait, let me actually
maybe 2nd.
Yeah. So it's like this. Okay. So because if you don't have overcrowded, it's like
overcrowded is a word that you must have.
Yeah, that's vital. But that's a good. I didn't know that. That's good to know. It's really good to know. Oh wait, I picked fur coats. Did I do here?
But yes, the thing is that once you scout the red's main and you see that something is like not you don't have like trading post, market. Yes, then you can suspect that something is wrong, and then you can check red's war, and if it's not late game, you can just chill.
Yeah.
Because you know that this red will not be a huge threat in late game.
I mean, obviously compared to the negotiation and
compared to negotiation one.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's still, even if you don't go negotiation, I think with red you still can have a very strong late game. But it's just simply won't be as good as the negotiation one. Yeah, so you actually like sacrifice your late game by being ready earlier. Okay. Was interesting as well. Didn't expect that. Point. Next is the Squirrel. This clan's interesting. That's so interesting actually, because for tournament we practice Squirrel a lot. I think Squirrel is one of our core clans for 3v3. Let me hear your thoughts first before I say anything about this.
My thoughts are pretty much the same as yours. Like the tournament Squirrel and like 3v3 Squirrel, it's 8-1 clan for sure. Like you don't really want to play the micro Squirrel anymore. I don't feel like you want. The power spike is negotiations, and the thing is that you want to mill only for yourself, which enables you to have a really good start, a lot of resources. I mean, like, if the Boar used to be the clan that can easily get 1,000 gold in 8-1, now it's Squirrel, and the Squirrel actually has a better time with the economy. I feel like maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not a Boar player. Just the thing that like you usually go for bottom to get negotiations. You can get like 2 markets, and for me one market was enough because I went for the boat plus trading post plus market on the main, and it's easy 1k gold. The only problem is sometimes wood, if you don't mill like yourself very early, and then you ask your teammates to share camps, and then it's like chief. Once you get kitchen nightmare after negotiations, then it's chief plus 10 warband easily, and then you don't really need to even like mine stone. You can mine stone for main upgrade and scout cam upgrade, and then you can go carpentry for it because it's cheaper. And like for the iron, I'm not really sold on putting the mine for 5 iron only, because that's like how much you need to forge your warriors. Usually it's just better to buy 5 iron after negotiation, and that's it. You just forge your warriors and then you go. You can also scout. Like that's the thing. You can convert huge number with free chief, like first free chief at least, and then you also scout. That's a bit OP.
Like Squirrel can do everything for rushing.
Yep.
Kind of like the snake, but I like that you highlighted the free chief and the correlation between free chief and more warband, because that usually makes a difference, right?
Agree. Sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to finish that. Like, if you check the middle war of Squirrel, it's one of the weakest ones in game. So it does imply to you that you need to do something early or just don't do anything. Because you will lose to any clan, any other clan that has a stronger military power. Even Goat is stronger, and Goat is pretty weak military wise. At least I think so.
We gotta compare the goat with the squirrel though, because when we're talking about the rushing, I think goat and squirrel are kind of similar, right?
Yes.
When we were discussing tournament strats, we talked about that as well, and we figured that squirrel is way better. By the way, question from chat: does squirrel have negotiation? Or does it not? Because on Northgard it doesn't have negotiation. But
I think it's wrong.
Yes,
I think it's wrong. It definitely has. It doesn't have trading caravan.
Me too.
It doesn't have trading caravan.
Me too. Or yeah. I think so too. I'm pretty sure
it definitely does. Yes, definitely does, because
it has negotiation. I'm very sure as well. Yeah. Okay, back to topic. So we were discussing Squirrel and Goat, because both of these clans get outscaled because the scale clans just have the stronger military. That's just how what it boils down to. And if we're talking about the rush, okay, Goat can scout as well. Goat can feast, which the Squirrel cannot, but the Squirrel has more and stronger army than Goat.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. And when you are rushed, it's just easier because you have a lot of pop on Squirrel.
Yes, exactly. That's the reason. Okay, anything to add? I think like the Squirrel Relic in a 3v3 not rush game is still okay-ish because it's
It's decent. It's decent. It can enable you for the frame win. It can also, like, most of the times you just don't want to step in the tile that has this blue mold in it.
yeah.
Like you just don't want to, because any good player, he takes like 1 or 2 or 3 wielders and he starts to dance, which actually triggers the effects, and then you just lose one by one. All your armies will be dead there.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly. But you can just like ignore that and attack the teammates of the squirrel, and then the squirrel will be very sad.
Yep.
That's like that's the main point. Okay, so where do we put squirrel on this list?
I think it goes like just this aspect that it's very strong in 801, and like we don't really. I mean, 801 is meta now. Like however you look at it, so I guess it's not lower than A, maybe even S.
Oh, maybe even S? Really?
Yeah, that's my opinion, because that's a clan that has very strong eco. Yes, only for itself, but still it can scout. It has a lot of convert. Like I don't know.
Okay. I'll put it in A for now.
A is decent enough, not S probably.
Yeah. We can discuss the final ranking afterwards. So no.
Yeah, not S, because the only thing that allows Squirrel to thrive is its early game potential. It doesn't have any other win conditions, like as easy as STAG, for example.
Yeah. But I think we're doing a good part here actually right now. Okay. Last eco clan, the lion. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Magnus. Yes.
Yes.
So
we can put it C. We can put it in C or D probably. I'm not sure.
Okay, so what do you think about the lion, Magnus?
Lion is in a pretty bad spot right now. Like I don't know. Yeah. Like in previous patch, it used to be the clans that could 1v2 or like 1v1 any other clan except of the other lion.
Yeah.
Like easily. And you had the things that so these are several factors that kick in. The fact that lion doesn't usually play we don't really have negotiation built for lion.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. So like the mart, the stuff that is instead of the market for lion is getting more often like seen in games. I saw Ranian playing it, I saw Titonka playing it, like other line players, but still it feels like the only like viable build, mostly viable build for the line is Relic build, War Relic 1, and this is only effective after 802 middle.
Yeah.
And the fact that once like Lion is very reliant on its tiles. If Lion loses a tile with a relic, it's GG. If Lion loses a tile with a wood, it's GG. If Lion loses a tile with a foot, it's GG. I mean, so many bad things. Like you can go negotiation, but I've never seen anyone going for it. Maybe it's just me. Probably like need to try it out, because I saw some players that go gold on Lion now. And they only go like for 6 war just to get the WoW first like blessing, and that's it. Probably that is the way. That probably may make Lion better, but without it, Lion feels pretty bad, pretty vulnerable. Rush Lion is still okay though, like with like 8 to 10 champions plus chief, it's possible in 8-1, especially with a good start, like when you have a shipwreck or ruin on like or both of them, it's doable. But other than that, I don't really feel like Lion is a strong clan.
Okay. Can you walk me through the war?
War? Yeah, sure. So it's usually like the usual war build from the previous patch is mining efficiency into imported into carpentry, and then weaponsmith into ost into fill and save.
Okay. I see. And then you go for...
And then for the blessing, you usually, if you go relic, you get the Yord's blessing, I mean the right one.
Yeah.
If you go for the convert, and that's like all in, you go for the Vow of Poverty, which is Freya's, but it works a bit differently. But
Yeah.
if like Freya's normally works only in winter, for Lion it works all the time, which is pretty strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, it allows you to have convert and not starve to death.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, actually, this tier list, after this tier list, I'll probably be trying some negotiation land too. Maybe it's viable, but
Okay.
yeah, not
I'm
sure.
looking forward for that. You can write me if it's how you felt like
Yep, okay,
playing
sure.
that. Okay. So where do we put Lion here? So we've got the 801 rush, which is going for Lion. Lion can scout as well. He can feast as well. He is very situational. There's a lot of things which can happen which are very bad, right? Losing food tile, losing wood, like you said.
Yeah, the thing is that Lions champions with upgrade are still the strongest unit in the game, I feel like.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, and like 801, that the fact that Lion still has 801 potential, even though it's like all in to, is something. So probably it's C. And
Yeah.
maybe like in this case, we can also place Goat higher because Goat can actually do the same. It's just that military is weaker, but Goat can pull up like 2 to 4 more units than Lion.
Okay. But would you? Okay. So would you rather have a goat for a rush or a lion for a rush?
It depends on the player. If I know
Okay.
that it's a Lion player, I would rather have Lion. But Goat in general seems easier to implement.
Yeah. Okay. I see. That lion is kind of like tough to place, I feel, because I don't I don't I don't know if it's necessarily better than goat red bear.
Yeah, you can place it lower. I mean, feels like Goat is just easier to play better.
Yeah.
On Lion, it depends on tiles much more than Goat, I would say.
Yeah.
But Goat is also dependent on the number of sheep and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
but if you play in a pre-made, I guess it's okay.
Yeah, let's say the player is very good, he knows what he does, and he knows how to execute the clan perfectly. Like, let's just assume that the goat is executed perfectly and the lion is executed perfectly. I still feel like the lion rush is better because of the champions, because the military
Yeah,
is
champions
just
are very
stronger.
strong. Are very
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah. And if you let's say you have like a snake, wolf, a lion, then you don't need to like have the goat to scout because the snake can scout as well.
Yeah,
Right? So
this does help to Lion actually if you don't need to scout.
yeah. So maybe let's say it like that. If the goat is in a trio, like in a team game, in which they don't have someone scouting, then goat is better than lion, right?
Yep, maybe.
But a lot of the clans, like if you look at the top clans right now, right? If you're looking at Stag, Raven, Snake, Squirrel, they can all easily scout. They have no problem scouting. Even Boar has no problem like scouting.
I wouldn't say that it's like very easy for Kraken to scout, but it's okay. It's doable.
Yeah, for KRAKEN, it's definitely harder compared to all the other clans at the top. I agree, like 100%.
Okay, so do we go for your favorites, like the rest of the clear
Yes,
clans?
yes. Let's do it. Let's do it. So we've got the 3 clear clans. First of all, I feel like the clear clans, when you compare all the clear clans, I think they are in a pretty good spot. Not gonna lie. The only problem is negotiation, and negotiation links is just so dirty. It's that if you don't kill the links early, it's by far the best clear clan. Right? It has the potential to be insanely powerful. But like you said, we got 801 meta, making LYNX, in my opinion, the worst of the 3. when we're talking about purely 801, right? If it's a setup when there's a raven, when there's a snake, then wolf and eagle have the edge. So the first thing I want to talk about is actually the eagle, because I feel like the eagle is the best of the three. Problem is with the eagle and the wolf, the clear clans are situational as well, right? If you're talking about all the eco clans and that they the different maps and the different situations kind of form your way into a booming, then we gotta do the same with the clear clans. Eagle is very strong if the map has a lot of tombs, a lot of wolf dens, a lot of stuff to clear. If you can get your chief out early, then eagle is insane. Eagle is more insane even if you somehow like have a lot of treasure on map and you hit 500 fame. Then eagle is just borderline broken. Like eagle hit a 500 fame on a strong map. There's literally nothing you can do. Right? That's just insanity. That's so much coins. That's so much resources, and just having the ability to clear with 2x throwers in the beginning and just dancing and healing up is so strong as well. So I can just like safely assume that eagle is the strongest of the three. But like I said, it's very map dependent. So if the map is bad for the eagle compared to the wolf, and the wolf can get like early berserker out, and there's not much treasure, and the map is very small, then the eagle can have a very big problem as well, right? It's very map dependent in a 1v1 clear team game situation. Let's actually like talk about the eagle. So we've got the lore for the eagle, and let's say we've got the eagle wolf matchup, right? The only thing the eagle needs to do is survive. So that's actually, and you can actually do that by going blood eagle pretty early. Not gonna lie, I don't know a lot of the lore path of eagle. I don't know if you know that, Magnus. If you can help me out here.
Yeah, I do a bit.
Okay. So you should go foraging, right? At some
No,
point.
you never, like most of the time, you never go for the foraging.
Alright.
Yep.
Alright.
It's just dependent, like if you get lucky, if you have 3 objectives, let's say like, I don't know, 2 wolf dens and maybe Droger's tomb, maybe then you can go for foraging. But even then, like wasting whole entire war on this one,
Yeah.
I don't really feel like it's that good. Yes, getting 200 on the eagle is pretty nice because you can sustain your like 2 to 4 falconeers and all of your army pretty easy, because for eagle it's a lot about like micromanagement. It's one of the few clans in games that is left that allows like you really to manage your resources. For example, it does all depend on caches, right? If you get the wood in caches, you can instantly unassign your woodcutters, or like at least one of them. If you get food, like then the life just gets easier. Usually you go like weaponsmith first, into blood eagle second, and then you need to check if you have a low happiness, then it's training field. If not, usually I saw people like Aku was playing sharp axis into Sentinel, and also some other like high GP players agreed that this meta is about Sentinel.
Okay.
On Eagle, it's about Sentinel, and also they try to maintain around like 4 to 5 Falconeers later on, and 2 of them are just like buffing the tile.
Yeah.
So you buff your main tile usually, and you buff your second tile. Like it depends on like how you manage to place your production. So if you have food and gold in the same tile, that's ideal. You just place 1 Falconeer there, and then it's going. And yeah, that's usually it. You can and you also need to sustain 1 War Master, because otherwise you are not getting your war. There's no way.
I see. Okay.
But if you go for the Sentinel, that means that if you face the other eagle who has military mil threats, that you probably lose the fight for the tile. But the main thing to keep in mind is, of course, who gets the last hit in the tile. If you are the one who gets the last hit, it doesn't matter if he has mil threat or he doesn't, because you will be the one that has heal in it and and also misses, and that's it. That usually decides like who takes the upper hand.
Okay.
And after this, it's mil threat into Repine usually. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. So, what do you think about the Eagle Wolf matchup?
Eagle Wolf matchup is not as clear. I mean, maybe like to me, it's, let's say, like if in last patch it was debatable which one is stronger, and most of the people said like if Wolf comes early enough to Eagle, then Wolf will destroy Eagle. That's what like IGP players used to say. Nowadays, I think nothing about this changed. It's just because of the 801 meta, it's more difficult for the Eagle to play. That's how I feel like. And for the long time, it felt like Eagle just completely fell off from the game. Maybe because of the war change. Like previously, it was the Eagles feature to get war from the from tile scouting. Now it was not, and it took a lot of time for people to adapt.
Yeah.
But now I think it's pretty good. If Eagle manages to survive 801 and the beginning of 802, Eagles eco is just way stronger than Wolves, and this will decide the game.
Yeah, I agree.
Most probably.
I agree. By the way, one question: if you don't go for foraging, is it still possible to hit 500 thing?
500 is not easy in any game on Eagle, I would say. In most of the 3v3s, Eagle cannot easily get 500. So it's not about foraging, it's just about how the game goes.
Okay.
And like in 3v3s, I don't think that 500 is your goal. It just means if one eagle got 500 and other eagle is nowhere close to 500, that means that is usually GG.
Yeah.
Because the other one will have just way more resources.
Yeah, that's just like a very strong win condition, in my opinion. Like having a clear clan who has a secondary win condition. For me, it's like a secondary win condition because you don't need to dominate to kill someone. You just need to hit 500 thing.
Yeah. Sounds right. Sounds right.
So. Well,
But I still think that Wolf is stronger just because of, I don't know, like early scouting. Like your teammate is early scouting, and that's it. Wolf just invades. And to defend for Eagle is not easy, I would say. To contest tiles is okay against Wolf, but to defend from Wolf is pretty difficult.
We also got to keep in mind that Eagle doesn't have much buffer tiles usually, right? So buffer tiles are a huge thing, especially in 801 meta. And with Wolf, once you hit like 200 fame, if you got a decent spawn, you have at least like 2 buffer tiles before they reach your main. And with Eagle, it's very hard.
Eagle does often have open main in 801. That's a fact.
Yes. There's like no way around it sometimes. But here's the thing. I personally think it's a map thing, but still, because the Eagle can clear with 2x throwers faster, and just having the possibility that the map is great for an Eagle, I think it's a little bit better than Wolf. Just because of the map generation. I think it's really dependent on the map generation. When there's treasure, Eagle wins. When there's a lot of bear, no treasure, Wolf wins. And
yes, I agree. I agree with you. Totally.
And I completely agree. Like in 801, Wolf just smashes Eagle, but in high GP lobby, like usually when we play with each other, when like Nick plays Eagle, or someone else plays Eagle, I think these players, they are so good at microing, they are so good at tile dancing and all this stuff. Eagle has the edge because strong players know how to survive, right? We know what to do in order to survive, and once you survive with Eagle, Eagle is better than Wolf. But if let's say if you're a 500 GP lobby, I actually think Wolf has the edge because Eagle is just so hard to play compared to Wolf. I think Eagle is way harder to play in general. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, I'm not really convinced. Like all of what you said does make sense, and I've seen it myself. But I still think that just the fact that Wolf can aggressively colonize tiles very close to the enemy, and Eagle can never do this. Like even if the map is like very close, Eagle just cannot. He doesn't have that much food. That's it. That like this fact allows like for Wolf be stronger than Eagle because Wolf is always close to you. He can like go in, and there's Invader as well, which is also strong. And I know Wolf doesn't struggle against towers. Almost never struggles against towers. But if it's low convert, like not 9 units or something, like Eagle usually does, if it's very early, Eagle can actually struggle against the tower.
Interesting.
And pop.
Okay. Good point. So, because you just said that, I think you just like kind of convinced me to be more open about it because I'm kind of biased because I'm obviously only playing Wolf. I'm not playing Eagle whatsoever, and I feel like the Wolf matchup is very very map dependent and biased in the sense of I feel like I get cheated by map more often than map cheats for me. So that's why I will still place it behind Eagle, but I will place it right behind Eagle. I think this is the place for me personally, because what you just said, it makes a lot of sense. Like when we talked about the Wolf, and even though if you like look at the lore as well, the Wolf is designed to just destroy your towers, right? Invader is just so good. Having your military power increased by 75% against defense towers is insane, right? Defense towers mean nothing against you.
And tower is just melting. Upgraded tower is not a thing for the Wolf.
Yes. And I mean, once you got the tower down, Invader infamously like decolonization 30% faster. You are on a timer, and your timer is really low, right? You gotta be very quick to react. And if you got, like I said, if you got a Wolf Eagle matchup and the Eagle has open main, that is recipe for disaster. If you're not ready, then it's GG. But it's kind of like this one fight which results in the game ending. So either the Wolf wins or the Eagle wins out of this fight. Because if the Eagle can defend, it's game over for the Wolf, and if the Eagle can't defend, it's game over for the Eagle. In this case. So really depends. But like you said, in the 801 meta, if there's a Raven, I kind of feel like the Wolf can have the edge over the Eagle as well. So, talking about the Wolf, I think a Wolf can have a very bad map. Like, not having any treasure, having closed iron can be very bad. Couple that with a map without any bears, I think then the Wolf is kind of nerfed. If you compare that, if you're playing with Wolf against like kind of like LYNX or Eagle, because LYNX and Eagle they can clear very fast. LYNX can clear very fast with cats, Eagle can clear very fast with 2x throwers. Wolf can do that as well, but he's not as good as with that as the two other clans. The LYNX naturally has to get the kitties out, and the Eagle naturally has to get the 2x throwers out, which he can heal afterwards. So that's like not designed for the Wolf to do. The good thing is once you have the Berserker out, your clearing speed is insane, right? You can just smash the bears, you can just smash all the joggers. You can go for the kobolds in 800 if you want that, or in the beginning 801 or Milk Elf 801. That's like no threat for you. You can easily clear the neutrals with that. But we have to keep in mind that there are very, very bad maps for the wolf, and that makes it that it's always like a gamble if you don't mirror a wolf against another clear clan.
Yeah, what you said makes a lot of sense to me. But I'm not the wolf main, so I don't usually complain a lot about my spawn. I just feel it like when I don't have a single bear and it's mostly droggers or valkyries or some stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like I just need to go like to build food first here and probably to ask a sheep from a teammate if they have one. But
Yeah.
yes, I can see that in a bad spawn, like it's all better for the eagle for sure.
Yeah.
Like for the LYNX, I'm not that sure because LYNX also doesn't like to have a lot of droggers and stuff. But eagle is definitely stronger on such maps.
Yeah. So, to sum things up, I think looks good so far.
Yep.
Let's go for the last one. I can actually.
Also, it's worth mentioning like Wolf Relic, even though like in 801 meta Wolf Relic is not really a thing, but it's still sometimes you have close maps, and you have middle with 5 Valkyries, and then you have like giants, like usual Jotnars, not Gaians, because Gaians you can kill pretty easily with any clear clan, I guess.
Yeah.
But if map is closed, like Wolf Relic can kick in and do some damage.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, 90% of the time you don't do that with the relic, but the time you do that, the relic is what gives you the edge over the other wolf, because the wolves can tank a lot. They don't use up your food consumption, and just walking around with like 6 warbands plus your 3 wolves instead of 8 warband feels amazing for the wolf. Like that's that feels way more natural. And yeah, but it's very situational, right? It depends on the map, it depends on the clans you're playing with, but it can be good. Wolf Relic can be very good. I completely agree. So, last but not least, the LYNX. There are 2 possibilities to play with LYNX. You either go for 801 Rush, like full 801 Rush with Weaponsmith, Archie Mastery into Millstrat into Nimble Paws, and you are a powerhouse in very early 801. Or you can go for the Negotiation LYNX, which is mining efficiency into... I'm actually not sure, I think it's the Potion Carpentry Negotiation. I think it's like this.
Yep. Yeah, I also think so. Even though, like, when you don't go erudition, you struggle a bit to get the feeling safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, these are like the two ways the LYNX can be played. If you are in the LYNX against LYNX matchup, I actually think the Negotiation wins over the rush of Nimble Paws, because you don't get such a large edge from rushing middle with LYNX. Like you get your 8 archers out, you usually skip your Boar Chief, you skip your melee key, and you are very strong early on, but the enemy LYNX can be ready early as well, even when going Negotiation. It's very spawn dependent though, like it's very spawn dependent on the lore. Open lore is preferred, but you can get your lore stone with a cat pretty easily as well. It's just not as good, but if you got an open lore stone, I think Negotiation actually beats the middle. What's very interesting is when we look at the LYNX Wolf or LYNX Eagle matchup, because we're gonna think about the early game and we're gonna think about the late game. In early game, I think the Wolf has an edge over the LYNX. Just because I can clear the map way faster, right? If we're looking at the clearing speed, the cats can clear, they will heal, but the wolf can like clear everything just faster. And if we're in a direct confrontation, the wolf has the ability to decolonize the tiles easily, and he can destroy the towers. And the lynx has a relatively hard time entering tiles, which could make a lot of, which makes the 801 rush a lot more difficult compared to a 801 rush of a wolf. Right, a wolf just enters and just is there, even if the population stands on the edge. But with a lynx, you cannot do that because the population will just simply smack all your archers. So, considering that the map can be good for your opponents for defending, the lynx rush could go really, really bad. But that really depends on the tiles you are entering. Despite that, like Fire Arrow Lynx is very strong, especially early on. And having the ability to, like, if you get to 500 fame with your mythical creatures, with your Ozakurai, I think it was called, that's just insane. I actually think it's actually better than the 500 fame eagle. But the problem with that is you only reach the 500 fame from Lynx if you go for negotiation, because you need to upgrade a lot of tiles, a lot of buildings, and you don't get the 500 fame by colonizing tiles. Lynx is not designed to colonize 8 tiles, let's say. That's not how the clan is designed. But if you go negotiation, I think you don't have any problems reaching 500 fame. Reaching the power spike of Wild Hunt, like Wild Hunt is so insane, and then you're just, yeah, very strong. You're a very strong clan then. Actually, you could even fit in colonization here, by the way. That's just personal preference. Don't have much lore anyway, so better to skip that to go to Wild Hunt. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything?
Not much to add from myself, just as Twike said in chat, that like you normal build is sharp access into spoils into middle. The ones that you were talking about is negotiation build when you go for bottom and then you go middle. I'm not really sure that like rush links is almost the same as negotiation one, but I'm also like playing links for fun usually, only in unranked. And yes, I always play negotiation build because yes, it's unranked and for fun. Why would I play normal links? It all comes down to the skill, to the micro skill as well, because if you are playing against eagle or wolf, I feel like it's very important that after fire arrows you can press pass complete at least 2 times, because this way your archers your trackers are pretty fast, so that you can kite. Actually, you can kite wolf chief, like eagle chief, and warriors and stuff. If you play it smart, I guess it's pretty winnable. Like, I'm not a good wolf player. I lost to Hartman once. He was playing Lynx, and it was 8-2. I guess we had around the same convert. He had like 6 to 9 trackers, cats and chief, and I had like around 10 total with like mixed warriors plus shield bearers. He just destroyed me because he was micrane 1 by 1. And I was trying. I was thinking that it's easy one for me because I have shields against the trackers, so this should be pretty easy. But he just destroyed me. I realized that I'm losing chief in the middle of the tile, and when I was trying to run, he just got me with like 5 to 6 fire arrows in the back. That's it.
I see.
It was pretty rough.
You would think that the shield soak a lot of damage, right, from the microing, but.
Yes, I thought that it's easy for me because I have the mix of shields plus warriors, and my chief is also very strong, and it's like links. It's going to be shredded by me, but no, it didn't really work that way.
In reality, it's much harder. I remember, like I played in the wolf matchup against Burdush and Bios Edge with the pirate once, and we had the wolf lynx matchup, and there were like a couple of times where they almost lost cat. I got a lot of the creatures on the map, so I got way more resources, but it was so hard for us to close out the game because entering a lynx tile is hard, right? The lynx won't be able to kill you, but you won't be able to kill the lynx either. So it basically boiled down to who can sustain the army better, which was
Yeah.
interesting. But I think like the LYNX wolf matchup is very similar, very similar. The wolf can like smash through LYNX, but there are some cases where it's very hard. Like you said, the fire arrows are very strong. They're a serious threat, not to be underestimated. And you might think that you have enough army, but if microed correctly, LYNX can be a powerhouse of a clear clan.
Yep.
So I feel rather good when placing the LYNX right behind the wolf. I think this is, at least for me, this is the place it needs to be. Now we can still make some minor tweaks here, right? This is not the final tier list. I just noticed that we have a lot of clans in A. So maybe
we are too generous.
Yes, maybe we are. So just summarizing up things really quick. So I'm pretty confident having Stag and Raven S. I honestly feel like KRAKEN belongs to S-. Like Raven is S+. I think Stag is S or S+ as well. I think KRAKEN, for me at least, is S-.
Yeah, you can swap KRAKEN to S.
Yeah.
LYNX doesn't look like A tier
Yeah.
clan to me, honestly.
Yeah.
LYNX is probably B or even C. To me, that's how I feel like. I mean, you compare it not to the Eco clan, right? You compare LYNX to Eagle or Wolf.
Yes.
And in comparison to Eagle or Wolf, it's way weaker.
Okay, so let's do it like this. I mean, if you got the Eco clans anyway, let's just pop them in the back, right? Because they are out of category. Okay, so I like the Raven Stag KRAKEN situation. A tier. So Boar, I feel like Boar is the peak of A tier. It's just too versatile to not be placed into at least A tier. I'm not sure about the Squirrel.
Do you think Squirrel is lower than A?
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's B, but it should be the strong B then.
Yes,
that's my opinion.
Yes. I agree. I think Squirrel is the strongest B. I agree.
The only thing that bothers me now is the goat in D. Probably goat doesn't really belong to D because I don't really feel like goat is worse than any other clan in the list. It does have potential.
Yeah.
So probably we just don't have any clans in D, and all of them are C.
Yeah.
Not all of them, just goat joining Lion, Bear.
I think goat joining the C guys is the way to go.
Yep.
I think this is actually the way to go, because the differences between the tier lists are, in my opinion, rather large. like the S. Let's compare like Raven and. That's such a huge difference, and Boar and Ox as well. Like, I mean, if you're in this matchup, it's really hard for the Ox to do something anyway. So okay, question is, if you don't feel like, I agree with you, goat that didn't feel like it belonged to D. Would we place that in front of Lion, for example? Or would we place it behind?
I would place it behind, but I'm probably wrong because I'm biased.
Okay, I'd place it behind as well. Like this is, tier lists are supposed to be biased, so I mean it's all very subjective opinion. So
yeah, right. It's made by you, so right, and both of us. I guess. So it's biased.
I'm just thinking about, okay, let's actually, I wanna add some rows, because I think it's important to add S minus, A plus, or B plus.
Makes sense to me.
Right. Wait. This. Like this. Okay, so we've got the. No. Add row below. So this is gonna be B minus. Because I honestly feel like these these belong in B minus. They're just, I mean, they're. I know in Discord the ox horse matchup was favorably for the ox, but I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way. I feel like just having the possibility to get in earlier to get the timings right. I think this is better, and let's actually do that for B minus. And place these bad boys in C minus to differentiate a little bit better, because it all boils down to being very, very situational, and I don't feel like it's fair for the bear be in the same tier as the rat, goat, lion, because bear is just so solid, right? He's not good at anything in particular. He's not like very, very good in particular, but he's not bad as well. And I think if you look at the clear clans, it's just so good to be able to heal in winter. It's just that 500 fame is so hard to achieve, that there's a lot of things that are holding the bear back, especially like the negotiation situation. But I actually feel like it belongs in front of lion. If I look at the list this way. Do you lynch me now?
No. It sounds logical.
Yeah.
That sounds logical, because bear can pull, I don't know, like around 20 convert in 802.
Yeah.
Lion, like, honestly, recently I wasn't able to pull 20 convert on lion.
Okay.
Maybe it's just me, but yeah, that's the truth.
Okay. Chat wants to see the bear and the snake lore again. So
you can show.
Yeah. The bear was just top, right? The negotiation.
Oh, top. Yep. No,
work.
bear is non-negotiation. Top 4 in the middle, and for the snake, you told it's free top. Getting like city build or the journeyman most of the time. Sometimes probably filtrations, and then free for middle, I guess.
Yeah. Let's do journeyman. Journeyman's fun. Just for killing guys. I mean, just having the ability to just kill guys with like tons of skirms in early 801 is.
Yeah. If you see some journeyman snakes in 300 lobbies, you can always blame Larsman for it. Like, just imagine journeyman into full black map, not scouted. Nice.
That's not my fault. That's not my fault. I mean, it really depends, right? Journeyman or filtrations. Right? This is the build for early aggression, and if you want to go for 802 with warriors, you go for city builder.
Yeah.
Usually. Okay. So I actually feel like this looks very, very fine. I'm not lie.
Yes, this is a good tier list made by you.
Thank you. Made by us.
Yes.
It's a good tier list made by us.
I tried to contribute a bit.
I mean, you contributed a lot. Very, very helpful. Yes, I wanted to add row above. This one is just Black's not a good color here.
Horseman, if you don't mind, if we are done with the tier list,
Yeah.
I need to go right now. If you are fine with it.
Yes, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I'm fine with that. But
Thank you very much for having me. Then.
Thank you again for your help. It was
Yep.
very
Always
helpful.
happy. Always happy to help you. You know.
Thank you, man.
Okay. Goodbye then, everyone.
See you, Magnus. See you, Magnus.
Yep. See you.
Okay. So, if chat has got any questions left, now is the time to ask away. But this is my tier list now. I'm actually pretty happy with the tier list. You can make a case that maybe Boar is higher, but I think in general this makes a lot of sense. What about the new clan? I can't say anything about the new clan. I'm sorry. I am sorry. Can we get STAG and Raven nerfs? I mean, I think a STAG and a Raven nerf would be nice. I honestly feel like Raven and STAG both need a nerf, and maybe if they overdo the Raven nerf, STAG the KRAKEN will just be S plus, because Raven is like one of the only reasons the KRAKEN is not S plus here. But yeah, that's the Northgard tier list. I hope you enjoyed that. And now I wanna like sum things up for you guys. So first of all, the S plus and S tier clans are very strong and the best in what they do. The Raven is the best at scouting, the STAG is the best at scaling and the best at fame winning, and the KRAKEN is the best at providing military in 802. This is the reason why these three clans are standing at the top of all the other clans. For the A tier, there's no other clan better at versatility than Boar. You can play a Rush Boar, you can play a Jar Boar. Jar is very solid overall, and that is why the Boar belongs in A. The Snake is one of the best, if not in my opinion, the best 801 or Rush clan at the moment, and also you could play the Snake very versatile as well. Like we said, with Journeyman, with City Builder, or with Field Rations in the Stolen Lore apartment. And after the Snake, there come the two main clear clans, who are, in my opinion, the A tier clans. Then there comes the Squirrel, which is right behind the Snake in terms of 801 rush potential. The Squirrel is not an eco clan anymore, so if you want to play the Squirrel, you have to go in early, in my opinion. You could also go for a Squirrel Relic and play for eco, but in this department, it is not the best clan right now. Then there comes the solid clan, the most solid clan in the game right now, which is the Horse. You could play the Jar Negotiation Horse, which is quite alright at the moment. And you could also play the Classic Horse. In my opinion, I like the Classic Horse more, but that's obviously my subjective point of view as well. And then there comes the third clear clan, which is very hard to play, very hard to execute, but it can be very strong as well. Like when you go Negotiation Links, or if you go Rush Links. And yeah, the Archers are just a very nice, strong situational mechanic. Again, very situational clan as well. And then there come the late game powerhouses, the Ox and the Dragon. They are B- because they need a lot of time to get online and the meta is so fast right now, so if you are in a Raven game, the Ox and the Dragon can get rushed very fast. After this, there comes the Bear and the Lion. The Bear, very solid, but despite being solid, there are a lot of better clans in my opinion right now, and especially the clear clans are just so much faster than the Bear. And the main problem the Bear has is that he kind of needs to go for top lore with the hibernation, which makes the Bear so strong, and the harpoons, and he cannot play around negotiation. Then there's the big nerfed Lion, and the Lion can get ready in 801 as well, but some other clans are better at that, and if a Lion gets 801 ready and wants to rush, and the rush fails, the Lion is just basically dead. Then in C-, we have sadly the rat. The rat needs a lot of time to get online, and if you don't play to get online with negotiation, you sacrifice a lot of late game potential in order for you to defend the rush. So I think a rat is amazing in FFA, amazing in kind of like defensive scaling departments, but if you are in a 3v3 team game, then the rat has a very, very hard time, an even harder time than Ox and Dragon in getting ready early. And last but not least, at the bottom of the list, right behind the rat, is the goat, which was nerfed. You cannot build 4 sheepfolds anymore. Your relic got nerfed this way, and you still can like provide support for your teammates. You can still play for an 801 rush, but we feel like the goat is the worst clan in the meta right now. So once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed our tier list, and feel free to like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch. And please write in the comments what you think about this tier list, and I'm really, really excited about your opinion of my ranking. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and take care.